Hello, welcome to Holistically Speaking. I am Morella DeVoe, your host. Our mission with Holistically Speaking is to be the avenue through which the voices of holistic health reach you at the time you need it most. And I'm really excited about our show today. I was actually telling our guest as we were getting ready for the show that this is a topic that I have been wanting to bring to you for a while, and I wasn't sure who to get, and she contacted me, and I just jumped up for joy. So my guest is Sally Ballin. Welcome, Sally.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled to have you on the show because you have this incredible set of tools and really neat tricks that I can't wait for our viewers to see. And what we're going to be talking about today is how to detoxify your home. So we've had shows about detoxification for your body, but we have never talked about what to do to clean out your home from toxic things. So I'm thrilled to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. These two topics are so closely related. Detoxing the inside, detoxing the outside.
Detoxing the outside,
Yes.
exactly. So, Sally, why is this important? Just to kind of set the context.
Yes, well, that's a good question. Why? Our immune systems are under such assault from pollution and in our toxic environment. And our homes, believe it or not, are 5% more polluted than the outside air on the worst day from chemical and electronic pollution.
And what are some of the different sources of chemical pollution or contamination in our home?
Well, for example, in the living room, there are glues in the carpeting that emit toxic fumes. There are flame retardant properties in fabrics and stain resistant properties in fabrics. All these emit, all these have off-gassing that we don't necessarily smell, except when they're new. But they are getting into our systems all the time.
Yeah, there's, I remember, I talk about this a lot when I do my detox classes, things like formaldehyde and the treatment of wood and VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and paint, that we breathe. And what about you're mentioning also electronic pollution.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, electronic pollution is really our exposure to electromagnetic fields that are emitted from all the gadgets that we have in our homes. And all electrical gadgets have an electromagnetic field too. Lamps and
blow dryers.
Yes, and clocks and so forth. But with electronics on top of that, which have a much more intense electromagnetic field, our bodies are really we're kind of in conflict with those all the time, because our bodies also have electromagnetic fields, and they're not as assertive as those of electronic gadgets. So really, we can suffer from actual cell damage by intensive exposure.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have the equivalent of a major power line coming through your house, but it's a whole different story when you have cell phones and to your ear all the time. That's a lot of exposure, and also radiation exposure as well.
Right. Yeah. It's really interesting to read about the whole concept of how we are essentially electrical beings. We don't think of ourselves as electrical beings, and all frequencies, radio waves, they obviously are passing through us. I remember a friend having this trick to get his alarm on his car to get activated at a distance, he would put it up to his chin and it would work because he would become like this antenna. So if that works, it also is true that every, radio frequency is moving through us. So there's a lot, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Right from our gadget to some distant radio tower or satellite, and then right back to our central nervous system.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. And of course, there would be some people who say this has no effect, it hasn't been proven, and then there are others who say it has been proven. Are you familiar? Not to get down that subject, but have you read any of that? Or
I think that there are certain things that we're not going to know right away, but we do know, or there is science to support the fact that there's cell disruption, but I think the effects are going to be long term.
We're going to find them out later, maybe.
Exactly, and best to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Since we don't know.
Exactly. So let's get to the fun stuff then, because I can't wait to see what are some of the things that you do. So, how do you start cleaning your house from these toxins?
That's a good place to start. The 4 easiest and simplest and inexpensive things that people can do right away are first to open the windows. Let those toxins out, let fresh air come in as much as possible. In our, this is a good time to do it because we've had our houses locked up tight for a long time. There's a lot of toxic air that's built up. So opening the windows and letting all that dissipate and welcoming the fresh air is it's a huge detoxifying measure. The second thing I encourage people to do is to leave their shoes at the door. When you think of all the things that we walk through in the day, in stores and on the street and parking garages and public restrooms and you name it, all the places that we want to leave all that stuff at the door and not track it through our homes where our kids and our pets are playing on the floor. And so very simple, easy to do, just a new concept maybe. And put on a pair of flip-flops instead and have those be your indoor shoes. And that's an easy step, I think, to take.
That's very Japanese. I don't know.
It is. It's Asian.
Very Asian, where you never go inside a house with your shoes on.
Exactly. And more and more people are doing that, I've noticed.
I think so. Here in Vermont especially, I think people are used to walking in. And I think maybe it's more motivated because of mud or snow or whatever.
Exactly. We take off our muddy, snowy boots and then we
so we have opening up windows, leaving your shoes at the door in your mudroom.
The third thing is to minimize our exposure to cleaning products and to get rid of things like dryer sheets, which are pure chemical toxins. Who cares if the socks stick together? It's just not worth it. Air fresheners, very toxic, nothing but chemical fragrances. And having these things in the air contributes to respiratory ailments, to problems with asthma. People who have asthma are very affected by those kinds of air pollution toxins. And so coming up with substitutes for those or not using them makes a huge difference right away.
We have some resources that we're going to show our viewers later, but one that just popped to mind is the website for the Environmental Working Group. Have you ever visited that site?
Yes, absolutely. They're terrific.
And
they're my go-to.
They are incredible, and just for our viewers to know, The Environmental Working Group has done a phenomenal job of documenting all of the research of what chemicals are linked to respiratory issues, reproductive issues, nervous system issues, and so
hormone system, endocrine
hormones,
system.
everything.
Yeah.
So it's a great website to go see what are the chemicals that most matter. Do I have them in my cleaning products? What are better options, etc.
Exactly.
Great.
So I wanted to suggest that people consider making some of their own cleaning products, because they're really pretty simple to make. They only involve 3 or 4 ingredients, all of which can be purchased very cheaply at the supermarket, and they're completely biodegradable. They're harmless to the environment, and they don't have all those dangerous chemicals in them.
Right.
Can I just show you some of what I brought?
You know, something you just said clicked for me in a new way. What's harmless to the environment, obviously, is less likely to be harmful to us, because we are also nature. We don't think of ourselves as nature. If it's, you know, harmful to nature, it's going to be harmful to our bodies. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
We are, you know, and sometimes when we, you know, which that just triggered another thought for me. The use of the term natural on ingredients, you know, that's a term that has no legal definition whatsoever. Anybody can put that word on their product.
Nobody regulates that.
Exactly. And what's more, when you think about it, just about everything that comes from the earth is natural. Yeah. Even oil, from which lots of these toxic environment products are made. Right. Petrochemicals.
They're all petrochemicals. Yeah, mostly.
Detergents.
So
and so
show
forth.
us what are some of the things that you wanted to.
These are the products that it's easy to make cleaning products from. Distilled white vinegar, and they also come in large quantities. You can get this in a gallon jug. This is simply baking soda. And it's you can get that in a 4-pound box, and I have those under the sink in my kitchen and bathroom, and those are my basic cleaning products. This is Castile soap, which is has no detergents or petrochemicals in it. It's natural soap, and this is a non-fragrance variety, but they come fragranced.
And they sell them by the gallon too.
You can get
They're
gallon
enormous.
jugs of them as well.
And one thing about this soap actually is you can use it in the shower. You can use it for cleaning, right?
Yes, you can use it in all sorts of ways. You can use it as a shampoo.
Yeah.
It's great to take camping for that reason. Yeah, it's sort of an all-purpose soap. And the Vermont Soap Company makes a really nice soap as well, natural soap. So, and then essential oils are the final other ingredients. Orange essential oil has a wonderful fragrance, and it's an energizing oil. Tea tree oil has natural antimicrobial properties and fungicidal properties, so that it's a good.
Yeah, it's a natural antiseptic, right? Really good to disinfect surfaces.
Exactly. So you can put it in I use it in this solution, which I spray on countertops just to wipe up, and it's and it
smells great too, right?
Tea tree oil smells. Well, tell me what you think of the smell. It's a little strange for some people.
You like it? I think I'm used to the smell of tea tree oil.
It's a little bit astringent, but
it smells clean.
Yeah.
Where do you get your essential oils? Is it just at
they're at City Market, they're at Healthy Living, they're at Luna Roma.
Yeah.
You can get them online.
Regular health food stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one is
lavender.
Lavender.
And lavender is a nice calming fragrance.
And I guess people can just get whichever essential oil they like.
Absolutely.
Right?
You want to avoid contact with the skin, because they can be irritating, but they are good additives for.
So what was that you were just shaking?
So what I was just shaking, these are some of the cleaning products that I've made, that I use at home and I've made. The labels are not very elegant, but this is the countertop surface spritz that I use for in the kitchen and bathroom.
And is it just water and tea tree oil, or what's in there?
It's vinegar with a little distilled water and lavender and citrus, and the orange actually, essential oils. And it smells vinegary. It smells a little
but not too bad.
But you can add more essential oils if the vinegar fragrance is bothersome. But it's a great mop up.
So it's
cleanser.
Vinegar, water,
and there is tea tree oil in that.
Tea tree oil and the citrus oil.
Yes, exactly, because that's what.
So the tea tree oil is kind of
does the disinfecting. Exactly.
And so if you have like a greasy spill, this will do a good job of
That'll do a pretty good job too. I mean, there's certainly times when there's nothing quite like a heavy duty cleaner. I have a friend who had a catering business for many years, and she would prepare food often at her home in her own kitchen. And she said she would clean her counters with Clorox because she had to be really, really careful about sanitation. Right. And so I would just say to her, of course you have to use Clorox, just wear rubber gloves when you do it. Just don't get in contact with it, because anything that goes on your skin gets into your system. This is just a sort of mesh net. This is called an herbal soft scrub, and these names come from I think they're from the Mountain Rose herb.com site. I learned about them actually in a workshop at City Market a few years ago, and have and my recipes primarily came from there.
From that.
Although the recipes are in this book, which I wanted to mention also.
Okay.
And this is
Sorry, I missed what the
scrub.
Oh, it's a scrub.
It's a scrub, and it can be used for just about anything. I use this in the bathroom for cleaning the sink and the tub.
Gotcha.
And just about for everything. And there's also a recipe which I didn't bring, but which is for floor cleaning too.
And what's the ingredient that
this
scrubs?
Has baking soda, which has an abrasive quality, and some distilled water. And the soap and both the lavender and citrus essential oils. I may have put some tea tree oil in here as well. I do play with the ingredients somewhat, and I follow the proportions that are recommended.
Okay.
And then play a little with the ingredients.
And so the last one over there in the spritzer, what's that one?
This is simply an air freshener.
Yeah.
And commercial air fresheners are very, very toxic, and this is simply distilled water with lavender essential oil and orange essential oil, and it has just a wonderful soft
I smelled it
fragrance.
when you
I know,
spritzed it a little while ago,
and
it was so nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. And that's a simple air freshener. You can just walk through your house and spritz it. It's completely safe. No one's going to start coughing and gagging, and it's never going to leave any chemical after after odor, because there's no chemical. There's nothing. There's no petrochemicals in any of these products.
And so the book that you just showed, what book is that, so we can show our viewers?
This is the Healthy Home book, and I rely on this for a lot of the information that I've learned about detoxing, because this book, the way this book is organized, is it walks you from room to room through your house and tells you about the problem areas and what to look for and what to do about it.
The Healthy Home is what it calls. Simple truths to protect your family from hidden household dangers. And it's written by Dr. Myron Wentz. So Wentz and Wentz, Dr. Myron Wentz and David Wentz. The Healthy Home. So you might want to check that out. So I know you're going to do a little demo.
I did want to demonstrate the drain cleaner.
Yeah.
This is simple and easy and effective. It cleans drains, it kind of deodorizes drains. There might be times when you have to resort to liquid plumber or whatever, but just as a regular maintenance.
So the vase here is your drain. This is your
This is
sink.
the drain.
Okay, so this is your clogged up drain.
Or
Okay.
just your ordinary drain. I mean, you can do this once a week just to keep things moving.
Moving. Okay.
In a good way. So this is I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of baking soda in there. And
Sally, I'm a little afraid.
stand back.
Like, what's going to happen?
And about 1/4 cup of white vinegar.
Oh, look at that.
And that's just going to foam down your drain and clean it right out and deodorize it. And you let that set for about 15 minutes or so. And then chase it with a kettle of hot boiling water. And
Oh, interesting.
it's very effective. So it's good for maintaining and keeping the drain deodorized.
Gotcha.
Clean.
So I imagine that a very basic question that people watching this who maybe have never tried any of these old school, what our grandmothers used to use, what they might say is, well, are these effective? Does this work?
They work. They work. And, you know, every now and then you might need to bring out the Clorox bottle or the 7 days products, which are also safe. But, and
You mean seventh generation? Yes.
Yes,
Like
thank you.
Like,
7th generation. But for day-to-day maintenance, these are more than sufficient. And if you do have to use some toxic product, simply protect yourself with gloves so that it doesn't get on your skin.
yeah, and ventilate the place probably.
Yes.
Open your windows. How
Open
about
windows.
fumes? Would you say, like,
Well,
using some sort of
Yeah, I
mask?
mean, I think it would be a good idea to use a mask, and it would be a good idea to use safety goggles. You
Yeah.
know, it would be a good idea to use
Right.
protection because you are working with
Yeah.
toxic products.
Right. I guess what many of us wouldn't have stopped to consider, you know, years ago, or even many people nowadays, is how all of these little things build up, you know, or they add up.
Yes.
So, you know, you breathe in a little Clorox, oh, no big deal. But that, plus the formaldehyde, plus all of the other things that are happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the off-gassing and the dryer sheets and
Yeah.
the air fresheners and the plug-ins and the,
Yep.
I mean, it all adds up.
So you have a couple recipes that I want to be sure to show our viewers. So if we can bring those up, so you could tell us what these are and how they work.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Great.
this is the drain cleaner. I'd forgotten that. So it's the drain cleaner you just made. So
Yes.
a 1/2 cup of baking soda and a 1/2 cup of white vinegar
And a chaser of boiling water.
yeah. And you would say the whole kettle,
Yeah.
know, like
dump it on down,
a
right?
couple quarts of water or so.
Yeah, it's probably about that.
Yeah. And then the next recipe that we have is the air freshener that you were describing that smells
and that's
beautifully.
this one. And it's simply distilled water and
Yeah.
a couple of essential oils.
In
And
this
we-
case, you're using the orange and lavender.
Yes,
Yeah.
but people can make their own
Right.
choices about what fragrances they want, what aromas they want to bring in
Right.
to their
Yeah.
environment.
And you just mix it in a spray bottle and spritz it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just use my own measuring cups and so
Mm-hmm.
forth at home. And these, and the bottles I purchase from, I think I have the website, specialtybottle.com, I think
Oh,
it is.
nice.
Yes, and they have all kinds of glass and plastic bottles in all different sizes, and they're...
So, Sally, we've gone through the first 3 steps: opening windows,
Yes.
leaving shoes at the door,
Yes.
cleaning up your cleaning products.
Yes.
And what's number 4?
Well, number 4 really touches on electronic pollution. The main thing that, and we talked about the impact of electronic pollution, but one thing that I've noticed that people do a great deal, and people in my family do it, and I really insist that they stop, and that is recharge their cell phones on their nightstands next to their brains while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
It's very important to get all those cell disruptors out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
And give them their own bedroom, or just recharge them in the office or someplace out away from where you're sleeping. Because as you well know, at overnight, when we're asleep is when our cells are regenerating.
Right.
And that's the work they need to do, and not be defending themselves against the emissions from these devices. And so anything electronic should be out of the bedroom.
Yeah, or at the very least powered off.
Powered off, or in a drawer, or in a cupboard, or in the closet, or absolutely. And of course, we can't completely eliminate those from our lives. This is, you know, how we live these days.
Yeah, we can't we're not going to get rid of our cell phones or our Wi-Fi
Exactly.
and iPad, but we can definitely
minimize our exposure, and that's the main thing. And those are pretty simple ways to do it. Another thing is to not bring your dry cleaning into your house or into your bedroom until it's had a chance to air out outside.
So let's be sure to show our viewers some of the other resources that you have for them, a few websites, and how to contact you if they wanted access to some of the tools and recipes that you have.
Great.
So for information on herbs and essential oils, you can check out mountainroseherbs.com. If you want more information on safe cleaning products, you can check out myhealthyhome.com. For information on green living, just kind of general information, this is a website by the University of Georgia. It's actually the website, on the website of the University of Georgia. It's fcs.uga.edu, and you go to the extension section and you should find some information there. And then we also have on the next slide, we can show our viewers how to contact Sally. And that next screen, Sally's website is healthysolutionsglobally.usana.com, and she has some wonderful recipes for all of these products on there that you can access. And Sally, you also have a gift, and we have about a minute to tell our viewers about your gift.
Great. I'm going to give the first 2 people who contact me through my website with their contact information a free copy of this wonderful book about how to detox their homes.
That's a wonderful, wonderful gift, Sally. So if we can show our viewers just before we close, as we're leaving the show, exiting the show, your website again, so that you can write Sally and get that book. Excellent. So thank you so much, Sally, for joining me and sharing your tips and your recipes. This was really helpful and interesting. So I look forward to hearing who won the book.
I'll let you know.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.